Hi guys, it's Holistic Health Harry and our Alkaline to Realize talk show. Today we're joined by two very special guests, 2 for 1 today. Bit of surprise for me. Elitom and Amin, who I'm sure you guys know, and maybe you don't know, Anita Starcy. Did I get your name right, Anita?
All right. So it's good meeting you, and I'm glad you invited us. And it's good that we get this education out here of breatharian or living on prana, which is to eat very little or none at all.
That sounds very interesting. I love the communities that talk about breatharianism, and you are well known in the community as one of these people that is eating very little, nothing at all. And the fact that you can do it or showing it's possible is a tremendous encouragement to us. So can I start by asking, how did you get involved yourself? I mean, this must have been a while ago now because you're very deep into it, but how did you start? Did someone tell you? Would you just how did you start this journey?
Absolutely. Actually, one day I ran into this young girl who said, now at the time I was already in a holistic lifestyle, but this young girl said, there's people who don't eat. And of course I was shocked. What? So that started my mind right there. Now, for me to live the holistic lifestyle before she told me that, I knew the work it took to get me to that point. So that's what I want people to realize, the level you at before you start going into food freedom. All of it is a holistic lifestyle, but I did a lot of work on myself, so that built up the confidence that I could go even further.
Right. Yeah. So I heard my brother Lee told me that you were a fruitarian at one point. Is that correct? You started with fruits, all going all out with just eating fruits only, or high vibration foods?
Oh no. Well, see, that's another mistake there. We as humans with the Western mind, we do want to give things this category, this name. I was with a fruitarian community, for instance, over in the Canary Islands, and everybody was like, they're 100% fruitarians, and all I eat is fruit. But when I came in talking more user-friendly, don't trap yourself by using a diet change as a new religion. Don't let it trap you like that. This is what you must do. Because right there, that's taking away, that's putting stress on you right there, because there could be things in you that you still like to indulge because life is a life experience. So when I start talking on that level, a lot of fruitarians came out and said, well, I did order a pizza last week. It's okay. Now, does that mean you're not a fruitarian anymore? You understand?
Yep.
So what we're saying, be user-friendly on yourself and don't trap yourself as making a diet change is a new religion, because keep in mind that all diet changes is not for the body. It's the discipline of mind.
Right. Oh, I love that. So it's all about disciplining of the mind and energy systems within the human avatar. And one thing I particularly like about Breatharianism is the idea that my bias, and I'm sure you live with this lifestyle, is the idea that the body is all powerful and the energy contained within the body is in a way all we need. And that's where the idea of Breatharianism comes from. How does one go about, from a basic normal lifestyle of just a normal person, start the journey of going about cultivating this energy? Where does it start? Where's the foundation, Elitom, for you, or for your opinion?
What will get the person started in the first place, like when we started off this interview, you said what really got me into it, and it was suffering, the way you feel. And everybody in life, I don't care what you got, who you are, what color, what country you come from, when you're in this realm, all of us are in universal laws. And when you violate them, whether if you're ignorant to it or not, you will start feeling it in your body. Now, we're energy beings, so that shows that there's an energy blockage taking place. And that suffering isn't a bad thing on how you feel. It's an indicator that you need to know what's going on with yourself, because at the end of the day, it's self-knowledge. Everybody's dealing with the health message. I don't care who you are.
Yeah. Oh, I agree. Suffering is part of life. I think that's what woke me up, and what most of us, and yourself, you said. So yeah, duality and suffering is very hard to come by. But then what makes the journey worthy, I'm sure you agree, is like that elevation of energy that we contain within. Because when we're in the matrix as such, we are looking outside ourselves for energy, whereas people like yourself are working so hard at raising your energy, and we all are to varying degrees of mastery. But what I'm trying to say is, how would they so you're saying suffering is how we all start? Is that the foundation for how we're going to start this journey? We have to suffer? We have to?
You don't have to, but suffering, let's put it like this, some type of pain or, in other words, we like to live a harmonious life. And when there's an imbalance in the life, you do feel it in your being, in your life, on how it's showing up. That's just an indication, a good thing to show you to balance it back out, because we got that power. Yeah. So we're always being regulated because we're always creatures of change. Change takes place in the atmosphere, it takes place in our bodies. It's sort of like on this thing we call flu season. Everybody start catching a flu or a cold. That's just saying that the atmosphere is making a change, and your body is already hooked up to nature. It's going to change with the atmosphere. But the people who don't have colds, flus, runny noses is people who understand this, so they make changes to go along with the atmosphere. That's why you should fast or clean the body out during season changes. You won't catch a cold. You understand? So it's about self-knowledge again. Now, my friend here, Athena Starseed, she actually did the physical fitness game here in California, taking it outdoors. So diet and exercise is the first level of an initiation of true spirituality. So right now she's going from the physical level, learning more about the energy, and just tell them a little bit about what you're exploring within it.
First of all, I want to say thank you so much for doing this interview, because this breatharian knowledge has revolutionized my life and can help so many not only heal their bodies, their mind, and their spirit, but have more peace so that they can be more of a contribution to society. So thank you for all the work you're doing.
No problem. Thank you both for coming on, Elitom, and bringing her on. So yeah, no, it's all about you guys. So thank you.
Now, wait a minute, before she began too, keep in mind that breatharian comes from the ancient word anedia, and it means to eat very little or none at all. Some people are trying to go for that none at all, off, or nothing, and saying that's the only way you can be a breatharian. Right. But you can enjoy yourself. It's a skill you can develop. So there's many different levels. See, we already broke the medical thing by saying you need this amount of calories a day. We broke that already. So the breatharian levels, again, is dealing with energy. So I want people to understand that. So right now she's in the breatharian process, but listen at how she's going to put it.
Yeah, sure.
So I'm no stranger to fasting as a personal trainer and an aerobics instructor and a health and fitness practitioner. But when my spiritual journey started in 2006, I started reading the Essene Gospels of Peace, and they talked about the different ways of the angels of the air and the angels of the water and the angels of the blades of grass, and how you can purify your body, and how Christ was an Essene and he trained. And fasting was a very big part of his initiation process to get higher reception so that he knew how to commune with all that is. So I had been reading that, and I started fasting, and I had heard by the time you're 40, to clean your body out, you should have mastered a 40-day water fast. So that was my goal. So I'm 36, and I start doing the fasting process, 3 days, and then eating, and then 5 days, and then eating, and then 14 days. And then as I progressed, I got up to 40 days with just a liquid fast. And I did about 4 of those before I came onto this energy. And 1 year ago in October, I found him, and I was like, wow, the next time I fast, I'm going to watch a video every day when I'm hungry. And he has, I don't know if you can feel it, but there's energy coming off of his body that's like palpable when you're around him that makes you feel more full. So I had been kind of messaging him, and then I'm a singer. So I was like, I'm going to sing these breatharian mantras to myself. I'm going to make up words. And I did a couple songs, and then I sent them to him. And I said, one day, if you're ever in Los Angeles, California, please come and visit me, and let's do a retreat together. Because I had done fitness retreats for 15 years, taking people to Costa Rica, but only doing vegetarian or vegan food with fitness. So balancing the calories, putting them in a deficit, having them lose weight on vacation. But when I came onto this breatharianism and I started my first 2-day dry fast, the psychic information was coming in, the body started singing, I felt lots of energy, but then I would go down to these lows, and then I would be so hungry, I'd have to eat again. So what I learned from Elitom Elamine was be patient, eat, and then as soon as I gave myself the food, which last night I went from 5 days of fasting, Monday through Friday. Friday afternoon I ate. Saturday I ate very, very light. Today I haven't had anything. So when I come in and out of it, if I eat something, that gives me more fuel to want to go longer. Instead of 5 days, 6 days. Instead of 6 days, 8 days. but giving myself that food in the middle, like I like seaweed and I like avocados. I'm still enjoying that. So everybody out there, like, it's a process, be patient. I am blessed though that he's living here now. So we're going to start an 11-11 retreat.
Right.
And then I'm going to go in for 7 straight days and I'm just going to see how I feel. And then I'm going to tell myself at the end of that 7 days, if you feel still hungry, you might not be there yet, because what he's teaching me is the hunger will leave. It's a side effect of the spiritual work. It's the cultivation of the energy, doing the meditations.
That's what it's about. It's about the energy cultivation, because I keep saying that meditation is the foundation.
Right.
You are channeling energy through the body. Don't worry if you eat or not. That is a byproduct of your energy work, of your energy cultivation. So if you feel hungry, don't try to beat up on yourself and act like, if I could make it through that, all of a sudden I'm going to be food free. That's the wrong idea. If you're hungry, go get something to eat.
I see. So don't torture yourself almost because you're rushing the process. Go with the process of how your body's feeling, and you'll naturally. Anita, as you said, like you're doing a lot, but then when you get hungry, it's okay to eat, because that's just you honoring your body in that stage. But that'll give you the motivation to carry on for longer instead of beating yourself up, which a lot of people in the community do, in the health community, as you guys know. They beat themselves up, think they're a failure, and then what happens is people give up, and that's really sad.
Right.
And become angry.
And become angry.
Think something wrong
with the system. Think something wrong with other people. Why can he do it? I can't. It's in proper instruction. You always got to be careful with anything you do. And you got to keep in mind too is when you're dealing with this energy cultivation work, if you try to force a flower to open, you'll destroy it. And we are like beautiful flowers. You got to give it time to grow, get more energy where it can hold into the body. So that's why if anything you're going to be consistent with is the meditation process. So even by me being here, she's learning right now what we're doing every day, working with energy.
You should do a little bit of that. That's Qigong.
Oh, absolutely.
A little tiny sample. Because that's our food. That's what we're eating now.
And when your body understands you're putting it under that type of condition, because we're creatures of habit, it will get used to and love channeling the energy. That's what it'll start looking for. So then when you start eating something, you can feel the heaviness and everything like this, and your body will start craving more to have the energy cultivation circulate. So again, love yourself, don't rush it. And it's something that when that transition of hunger do start being taken away from you, you might not even know when that took place.
Yeah, that's a really good point. You won't even know. Now, I think, I'm sure you guys are aware of this, but I'm coming to a little bit of energy myself, and I'm realizing that sexual energy, or energy, sexual energy is an energy too, is one of the most powerful in the world, particularly for men, celibacy, retaining your semen, or even non-ejaculation with sex and Taoist ideas. Elitom, I believe you are celibate, is that correct? Or you're practicing semen retention?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this is very important, because this is actually the foundation of prana, living on it. We got to go there. See, what happens is, now we've been taught just the male sexual energy due to the sperm, and that was basically due to male chauvinism. You know, they kind of put the woman out of the spirituality by dealing with that. But her ovarian fluids is just as powerful. They're just different, and it goes another way, because women, that's why they have the magnetism, but when men have the electricity. That's why we both come together to put that connection together to make offspring. You understand? But at the same time, the higher the magnetism, the higher the electricity, and the higher electricity, the higher the magnetism. So at the end of the day, both of these parties dealing with gender will come out just as powerful and just the same when they're working with these energies. Now, all sexual fluid starts in the brain, and it comes down the spinal cord to the gonads. For the men, it's the testicles. For the women, it's the ovaries. And it make that fluid. The body uses the best cells of the body to make the fluid. It dictates, due to your lifestyle, it dictates the way it smells, the way it tastes, and the color it is. So when you understand this, you want to start upgrading your lifestyle so you can produce a higher level of sexual fluid. Now, when it goes down, eventually it's going to come back up. And that's where the key is. You understand? So that's a journey within itself.
Unless you ejaculate, then it's going out and lost, right? It's lost forever. Lost, and you have to replete.
Right. Your body have to keep producing more. And the reason why it's been called an orgasm is related to the organs. In other words, with that information to make a fetus, to give it its kidneys, to give it its heart, it got that program from your organs. So it can know what's in that sperm, what's in that egg, all of this good stuff. So again, you're losing carbohydrates, proteins, fructose, all of this when you have an orgasm. So people do talk about the tantra, and that's, to me, is like an advanced meditation or advanced, how should I say, massage. But that's to stimulate, if both parties understand, to stimulate that arousal to a certain degree so you could go into meditation with it. That's why the microcosmic orbit and stuff like that, these meditations is very, very powerful when you learn to run the energy up and down that spine.
Are you playing with that? Are you at that level with Qigong that you're doing with the microcosmic orbit and stuff and playing around with that?
Oh, that's my bread and butter. I teach that at the retreats and everything. Oh. That right there is one of the main catalysts. It's all about the spinal cord. You said earlier about how people can get on a survival mode. You understand, you got this life that you think is normal, but all of your energy is going outward, the external. And that's what they call duality, the tree of good and evil. To go back to the tree of life is when you start paying attention to the spinal cord. Your mind is heaven. This is where it's at. So that's why when you see people on a spiritual journey, it seems like they start downsizing on materialism because it brings back the force, brings back the concentration within them. You understand? So anything you're spilling outwards, of course, you're going to lose all of that good stuff. So you're always going to be tempted to get some external to get back what you need. So that's why it goes hand in hand. So you can become food free just by the knowledge of saving your seed or saving your ovarian fluid.
Yeah, that's such brilliant knowledge. Thanks for sharing. I'll share a little bit with you. I'm in Semen Trenching Day 37. I'm obsessed with it now, but I'm also obsessed with the microcosmic orbit. I've experienced some, so when I have a sexual thought, I don't deride myself. I'm a man. So what I do is I will practice anus perineum contractions, and I will try and think the microcosmic orbit and send it back. And I'm coming to the realization with the energy that's giving me, and I'm not even doing it to an efficient level because I'm a beginner, that food and even fruits is nothing compared to my sexual energy. I can feel the energy coming from it. And also it makes me feel less hungry, way less hungry than normal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's very powerful. And see, when that fluid comes back up the spine like that, when you pass those different tests, it lubricates the brain. It gives it the fructose it needs, which is sugar. And it also, that's what's nourishing the brain. But then it gets into the cerebral spinal fluid circulation. You got a vagus nerve, which is your longest cranial nerve to come from the brain. And it's called the wanderer because it connects with all the different organs in the body. So that fluid is coming back down. It originated from the organs. So now it's coming back to the organs 100 times more powerful than when it left. So that's the nourishment that's nourishing a breatharian. This is why sexual energy or the Kundalini energy is the power that's keeping you alive. Yeah. Now, sexual fluid also will glow up under a UV light. Now, what we're sitting in right now, the sun, this is a giant UV light. So by it being going back into our blood, it heightened our blood a lot more than it was before. That's why we have a bigger glow around us when a person that is celibate, who does not give up their ejaculation, has a more powerful aura altogether than the person that's spinning it. Hands down.
Anita, that's what you said about Elitom. Obviously, I find that I have the same experience. Like you said, he's got a giant aura. You can feel the energies coming off him, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I also want to say one little thing. As a female, I'm also celibate. And I was celibate. I used to live in an ashram for 2.5 years with an Indian, South Indian Tamil saint yogi. And I was celibate at that time. And my teacher was telling me that the energy either goes out and down or in and up. And after a certain amount of time, it'll explode in the crown, like in the lotus opens. So I was on this trajectory. Like even if you didn't do breatharianism, you didn't do non-eating, within 12 years, it's going to shoot up no matter what. And you'll become awakened. So I was on that plan. And then I met a man. And then I ended up, leaving that celibacy. And I felt angry more. I started feeling jealousy. I started losing my energy. My psychic skills went down. And then after that relationship, I wasn't the same person. And so then it fell apart because he was attracted to the celibate version of me. And then when I became entangled in all of that energy, when you're pouring into each other, you come into that possession, low self-esteem,
right,
me,
jealousy,
myself, and I, mine, it's
anger,
my.
all that goes with the loss of energy flow.
I lost a lot of ground. And so, yeah, so I am back on my path again. And now I'm understanding why, because I'm using it now for my food. And I don't want to give my food up for anybody.
That's why it's called the great elixir. Look how she said it. It's nourishment. It's food. And month after month, when you keep passing those tests, the energy will get stronger and stronger. Now, why do I connect sexual energy month after month? Now, we know that women have a menstrual cycle, and there's stuff that's out there now that men have it also, it's just differently. They do have their mood swings once a month also, you understand? But the moon that you were born under, how the moon was when you were born, that record got imprinted on your physical body. So when you're doing your microcosmic orbit or you're doing your other meditations, you're holding your seed, your energy will get hyped on the moon that you were born under.
Interesting. Huh. Didn't know
now
that.
In India, they used to call it ojas, ohas or ojas. That's when through breath work, through the food you're eating and the accumulation of your seed, it goes from the solar plexus. Once a month, it rises up to the brain and nourishes the brain. It gives you better, clear eyes. It smooths out your skin, all of this stuff. So you are actually dealing with a nourishment. This is what we call alchemy, the alchemical, the electrical, chemical basis that's in your body. Now you're understanding what you're doing it for.
Yeah, I love this. I mean, people in society want to deny sexual energy and say, oh, even men want to be celibate, brahmachari, and understand the phrases. But I mean, it's not exactly wrong, in my opinion, to have sexual thoughts and then transmute it, like you said, the microcosmic orbit, because that sexual energy, that the yang, if you want to call it, you can have it, and then you just send, instead of ejaculating it out or leaving it as it is, why don't you send it to other parts of the body? Like you said, you can nourish the brain, the eyes, the skin seems to look a lot better when we do this stuff, and yeah, everything. That's why you look so good,
Oh, absolutely. Now this is what will hold people so they can feel comfortable. When you hear celibacy, it gets scary. Oh, you know what I mean? But see, when you look at it through brahmachari, Brahma just means the ultimate, chari just means the path. And what it's trying to say is the way you use your sexual energy is going to dictate your life. You understand? People who's married, the kids you got, that was the display of your sexual energy. So that's what's dictating how your life is going right now on every level. So nobody gets away. And even when we're dealing with relationships where you got into a fight, the jealousy, the anger. See, it's one thing if y'all really didn't exchange fluids like that, you could break away a lot quicker. But when you exchange those fluids like that, those jealousies or arguments come up, and you don't owe nobody nothing. You understand? So it brings the energy back home. Now, the first level is called the education years. That's why all young people should know this. In other words, instead of jumping, trying to make a family, go learn the world, go get educated, go know some things. Because there's a lot of people who got married or had children too young, and it pulled from their life on other things they could have been doing. This is where we're at now. Get educated. Now, that's level 1. Level 2 is called the householder years. If you're going to start a family, get educated on what type of person you're going to have that baby with. Is they going to stay in here? Are we going to build a family? You understand? You're bringing it back home. It's just saying haphazard, we just go about it along the way. That's that fear for the offspring that's coming into this realm. That's why you want to educate yourself. If you're going to spend your sexual seed, put it in the right location. That's celibacy right there. Don't spread it all over the place because it will harm your life. There's many people living that life on how they spent their sexual energies. Level number 3 is called the 4-ish years. The 4-ish years is when no matter who you get with, what couple you're with, the physical part is going to play itself out. You understand? So y'all are soulmates to build each other's energy up. That's your 4-ish years. So when the kids get to a certain age and they're out the house, y'all can now help each other to develop one another to go to another level. And then the 4th level is called renunciation. That's when you're ready for it. You're clear. You got your sexual energy. You got a lot of the other things out of you, dealing with the lust and the different sexual fantasies and stuff. So now you're ready to use that energy now to go to a higher plane of thought. This is what we're talking about.
What level do you say, this is quite a silly, maybe it's a question, but what level do you reckon you guys are at? Because it takes time, right? So are we
Oh, absolutely. Now I'm in a renunciation where I don't give up the seed at all. That's number one with me.
Cool.
Absolutely.
And me too. I don't want to, I'm
Right.
there. I'm there as well. I'm not food free completely because I go 5 days and then I'll eat, and then might go 7 days and then I'll eat. But definitely I learned that lesson the hard way. And I'm also 49 and I have a daughter. So I've had all that experience in my 20s to make love and have lovers. And then, and, you know, my late 30s, I had a child, and now she's going to be 9. And so I have fulfilled that karma. Talk about burning off the karma. So
right now, this is real good that you're bringing up this subject, because we're going to be teaching more and more about this, and it's real important, even when she's talking about the karma part of it. And that just means action. And we want to burn off those lower actions, those animal instincts, and that takes time. See, the sexual journey is a lot more powerful, a lot more difficult than food freedom.
Oh, I love that. What you just said. The sexual journey is a lot more harder than the food one. People would say food and sexual ones,
and even where I'm at, don't act like it was easy. You understand? No, I'm talking down to earth. If you want to use the word fall, I failed many times. You understand? Because I grew up in an atmosphere, you know, being popular in school like this, all the girls is in your face. And back then you're taught that the guy with 1 million girls is a hero. The girl with 1 million guys is a zero. You know, that's going through your head, and you're supposed to. So that's a deep programming to come out of that, you understand? And then even when you start holding your seed, you're putting out this bigger energy, it attracts the opposite sex to you. It does it on its own. So you got to know how to handle that. So it's a whole education, a whole nother journey.
Right.
And it's again, it's not about putting yourself down, beating up on yourself, because some people do have high sexual energy and they're thinking something is wrong with them, but it's not. They just haven't been educated that you can use it for other things. You can start businesses. It magnifies stuff to you. It can make you travel around the world. It's very powerful when you know how to use it in a different way.
Well, that team, it's brought you to where you are now, right? So here's a question. Would you say it's your food, the breatharian, little food or no to food, or was it your sexual energy? Which one's made you in this position you are in right now as someone that a lot of people look up to? Which one is the most impactful?
And the sexual energy got me in this position I am now. You know why? Light attracts light. So when you got that sexual fluid, time and time again, over and over again, because your body going to keep making it. And it's going into your blood, so it's transforming the blood. This is what it's all about. So therefore, hemoglobin attracts light to it. That's a medical fact. Water attracts light to it. That's a medical fact. And then we got this chemical called melanin, you know, to give the different shades and stuff. And all humans have melanin. And melanin is a good harvester of energy. We have neuromelanin all around our pineal gland, bringing the energy in the body. It's going to all of our organs. So these 3 components, when you start purifying them, that is the breatharian foundation right there. So therefore, by that sexual fluid heightening up my aura, it's drawing out of the atmosphere more energy than if I was spending it somewhere else. Wow.
Talk about your aura.
You talk about your aura.
It's expanding.
So it's expanding, but it's also, because we're transformers. Not only we're transmitting energy just like I'm doing now, it's also constantly bringing energy to it. So that's why if you want more energy and you want a stronger energy in your body, try dealing with your sexual energy. And like I said, for the beginner, it's easier said than done. See, our bodies were born here. So therefore, it wants to eat, just like any other animal. It wants to drink. It wants to sleep. And it wants to procreate. It wants to have sex. So talking about this sexual thing, everybody's dealing with it. We were born of sex. That's why we're sitting here. That's powerful.
How we got in.
It's a creative force. So therefore, when you try to deny it or hold it like that, it's going to be putting thoughts in your mind. It'll make somebody look beautiful and you wasn't attracted to them before. Their voice going to sound good because it wants to come out. Energy just loves to move. So there is a test on the beginning levels of this journey. It's a journey all into itself. That's why we're going to be teaching about it more and more. Even myself, there was a time I was scared to come out the house.
Really? Is that true? You were quite socially anxious at some point?
Right. Women be like, Elitom, you home? No, get away. So this is a journey.
Yeah.
All
That's
in
interesting.
itself is not easy. We're not going to sit up here and say just tonight with your chest poked out, because when those energies come at you, for some is more harder than others, but it's there. That is the serpent coming up the staff. That's why they give us all our symbology. If the serpent came up here and all the symbology, where did it start from? It started from the sexual energy. You got to get that sexual energy to come upwards and stay upwards. That's how you open up and activate your third eye that deals with light and dark sensitivity within the atmosphere. We're hooked up to it. So if you want to play this ball game, you got to go there.
Yep. I totally agree with you. I'm share a little bit about myself. I'm new to this, but also I'm completely with it because I'm practicing a little bit of Montauk Chia's stuff, the microcosmic orbit. And now I think I'm going to be challenged, just like you said. I'm going to be tested on, do I want to spill my seed? Do I have opportunities? Many, maybe. And because I'm a sexual guy, I'm young too. So yeah, I'm going to be challenged, but I'm looking forward to the journey of mastering, hopefully, you know, at a level, maybe not breatharian, little to no food. I'm not saying that. I'm saying mastering my sexual energy channels, because I really do believe the sexual energy channel is just way more powerful than anything else that human, even food. Like, I know it for a fact. Like, it's just so powerful.
Absolutely. And see, in this journey, it's just like the food journey. Why? Because even if you spin your seed or something happened to you, don't beat up on yourself. Don't be hard on yourself. Just like the food, get back on your path. People got to understand that.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Because food and sex is the two hardest things dealing with spirituality.
Oh, another quote. Food and sex, yes, agreed. Food and sex are the hardest things to deal with, hardest things, addictions, kind of like things we're brought up with, like to eat and sleep with people.
And it's a void that can never be filled. You keep wanting more. Blah, blah, blah. And then it started damaging you. And it took over you. And it took you to a whole nother direction, and it drained your vitality. So to take back that vitality, he who eat less live longer. And also use your sexual vitality now to refeed you, to re-nourish you, and so you could go into another level of consciousness. The other one is the animal consciousness. It is keep you in things of this world.
I love what you said, team. By the way, guys, I've been reading about Tower stuff and soul orgasms, like, you know, with sex with the man keeping the seed in and microcosmic orbit between partners, not just individually. And I've been hearing about people having different states of consciousness. What's your opinions on that? Is that possible? Have you experienced with a partner different states of consciousness, either of you, like a complete destruction of ego and just like who they really are, that kind of stuff?
Oh, absolutely. See, for number one, listen at this. I'm food free. That's the change of consciousness. That's it. And I'm living in heaven, a stressless life. Ain't no stress around me. Look at this. We're living in heaven. That's the perception change. That's the consciousness you want. You look at things in a wholeness, and everybody else is still looking in duality. And it caters to you because that's the truth. That's the ultimate truth. And it don't end. We just scratching the surface. It's going to keep growing and growing and growing. Because that's what we do. It's our constitution. It's in us. Because the light that's in us, it comes from another place. That's why if you've ever been to a funeral, the physical body is laying there, but what happened to the person? It went back whence it came. So once you understand, that's why we say we're beings of light. Our physical bodies is just at a denser degree. But what we're doing now with these practices, we're becoming one with the physical body so that we can, what? Take it more into the subtle energies so we can take it with us. This is why we're talking about physical immortality now. To be on these levels, to even talk that, you got to master food freedom and stop giving up your seed, whether it's male or female, to even be on these levels.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you very much.
That's consciousness.
Can I ask to walk me through quickly, briefly, a day in the life of Elitom and Anita? What's your day like?
Oh, what our day like? Living in heaven.
You could walk them around and show them.
Oh, yeah. We'll show you the day in the life.
Sure, go for it.
All right, here we are. I woke up this morning and immediately.
Do you wake up with sunrise?
It ain't about.
What time do you get up in the mornings? What time do you get up in the morning? With the sunrise or a little bit later?
Oh, yeah. Now, here the sun gets up like 6:30, but keep in mind that I don't sleep much because my energy is high. So even when I was laying in bed, I was just running the energy in my body. It just comes second nature. Then pretty soon I do my little stretches, but I came out here like 7:30 in the morning, and I just sat there in that chair and just put my hands up in the air like an antenna. I was just doing Qigong this morning. Don't need nobody. That's just what I did because this is what I do. You understand? And then she does her part pretty soon. I've seen her later on. She got her place in the front where you was in the sun every day.
Yeah, I sit in the sun about 2 to 3 hours a day, and I just connect this, and I keep my spine straight, and then I pull cosmic light down the left side, and I exhale up the right side of the spine, and then I circulate the microcosmic orbit while I'm sitting.
Right. And notice that we ain't even communicate by then. I already went into my world doing my thing. She went into her world doing her thing. And then everything that falls in place for the day, see, this is just starting out your day. Everything falls in place just like it's supposed to. We was going to a location yesterday, and of course, we were running late, but in our mind, we ain't running late. Everything was right on time, and when we got there at the right time. So you start breaking the fear-based frequency when you're connected with this energy all the time. And of course, you should make your life into a retreat. You know, we got the medicine wheels. You can see the Garden of Eden. The fruits is there. We don't need them, but we can give it to somebody else. And we just make sure we live in an environment that could complement our energies. That's anywhere you go. So even when I was living in the urban, in a little apartment, it was my power to change the apartment to hold a certain energy. So I had the waterfalls, I had the nice paintings on the wall, all of this stuff, so it can cater to your energy no matter where you're at. So that's the life of a breatharian. And even if you're in a situation where you're not living in your own place or whatever, it's up to you to go from there and find a location to walk. There's trails all over the place. There's parks all over the place. So again, this is the house, this is the vehicle we live in. We got to start understanding the power that we already have, that you can make changes on your physical environment. We're the animals that can do it, even if you have to leave that environment. So this is the life of a breatharian. We're always putting everything back in order on just how it's supposed to be. Ain't that awesome?
Yeah, it is awesome, guys. I love. Thank you for that, Tor. That was really good. Yeah, yeah. It sounds like you know the Breatharianism and the idea of like energies and systems that the work and practices you're doing and the levels you're at is very inspiring. Actually, I'm not saying that you're complete. No one's ever complete, but I'm definitely inspired by. And I'm sure the audience will be too by the levels of like.
Now listen.
Go on.
Now listen at this. Sexual knowledge, spiritual knowledge is sex education. So let me just take for a male, for instance, like myself, we was just talking about sexual energy. Our testicles is outside of our bodies because our bodies is too hot. You understand? So even though yesterday we got the, what is this called? Jacuzzi. This is the jacuzzi where it's real hot. And then the pool is cold, so she wanted to actually go back and forth jumping in here. Now for me, you got to be careful when you're a male to learn this. This jacuzzi might be too hot for you to stay in too long, because it'll start damaging your sperm cells.
Right, yeah.
So now when you're on this journey and you're a male, you got to start being sensitive to protect the family jewels.
No,
That's
yeah,
what it's
definitely.
all about. So even if you choose to eating the wrong foods to do what? Start making a man more impotent and stuff like this. So it's all about protecting the family jewels. And when you got that sexual energy running and always healthy, then you'll have a strong energy, a strong aura. So nobody gets away again. It's all about self-knowledge.
Team, I'll show you something as well. I'm now daily. I think it's really important for all guys. I do the Taoist testicular massage. So I do the 3 points. I do my own. So I do 4 points.
The Taoist massage.
Testicular massage.
All of that is excellent. We want to open up those channels to get that energy flowing and make it stronger. See, even like when you look at my hand and my arm, you see the tree of life. You can see the different vessels, the veins, but they got strengthened by the sexual energy going back into my body like that to start making more different veins because you're holding light into your body, and those energy pathways start opening up more and more. So it's all over the body. It starts going into the chest, going into the stomach, going into the leg area. All of that start getting heightened. Dealing with energy. So again, we are working with a substance also. That's why the sexual energies are so powerful when we keep letting it regenerate itself back into the body.
Yeah, I mean, one thing I've noticed, and everyone knows about you, Elitom, when you can see it when you watch your videos and your pictures of yourself, your skin is very clear, like amazingly clear, and there's
Oh,
something,
yeah. And see, that should heighten you up. So even though we understand when this message get out there and people hear celibacy and they get scared, when you start seeing the benefits over a period of time, that start outweighing. It's not worth it no more. You to put so much work in, you're tired of going in and out. I'm tired of it. So now you start staying on this other cycle and you love it. The skin get clear. You got plenty of energy to carry stuff out. You know everything's going to work out your way, work out for you, because you have another force that you're working with. This is it. Sexual energy is the core of spirituality. So therefore, sex education is the power.
Oh, I love that. Sexual energy is the core of spirituality, and therefore sex education is the power. I had to repeat that. Wow.
This is very powerful. So as we move forward, like I said, I'm so glad you contacted us, because we're taking advantage of this media now, this medium that we have, to connect more and more. And we can see that this knowledge is really going around the world at a fast pace. Everywhere I've been traveling, people have been really wanting to know more. There's really no skeptics like that no more, because the information is out here. It's up to everybody to work together to unify their own energies that all of us have a connection to.
I love it. And yeah, so are you finding that there's a lot more optimism, like you just said, like there's a lot more people that are open-minded and coming to this stuff than in previous decades? Are we waking up quicker or slower? Or?
Oh, absolutely. See, not only we're growing individually, on a collective level, that's why there's a consensus reality. Everybody's growing as a whole also. Even veganism, the fight for don't eat animals is out there like never before. Even McDonald's is coming up with a vegan sandwich, you understand?
Yeah.
So the cry is out there as we grow collectively, and that's all due to the light. See, we're being light beings, and we got this big solar energy that's hitting us. It's also dictating our behavior. So it ain't about having expectations how things supposed to go. The light is orchestrating it. It's doing it for us. This is awesome, man. Oh man, this isn't a one-man show.
Yeah, I'm loving it. You guys are really cool. Yeah, definitely.
I feel amazing. I just want to say that every day you start getting higher levels of reception. You know, the universe is music. It's broken into octaves, and we're radio receivers, and we send and receive signals. And when you're food free, you're not clogged up, because you're clogged up. That's what creates discord and dis-ease. And so having access to higher states of consciousness, like you were asking, yes, my readings, I work at the Mystic Journey as an intuitive reader. When I'm fasting, I double my income. On those days, I'll read sometimes 11 people instead of 6 or 4. And so I do have access to more magnetism. My thoughts become things. Like we were driving in the car, we think of something, and boom, it drives by us. Like that happens all the time now.
All the time now, right?
Parking spots right up front.
So we talk about the exploration of consciousness. This journey is a lot of fun. Make your spiritual journey fun. Stop trying to beat up on yourself like you're going to go into this.
Well, I thought it was torture, Elitom. I thought you're torturing yourself every single day and you hate your life, and like, that's what people think.
Right. And the universe don't even want you on that level. You sit up there trying to beat up on yourself and you're hating life. When you start loving life, that's the award. And nature say, I could work with that person. They want to have fun. See, the light is user-friendly. The universe is user-friendly. All we got to do is learn how to, appreciate and be grateful for this beautiful paradise we live in. La, 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 la.
And it totally is beautiful.
We're going to go walk the beach. You know? Yeah, this is awesome. So again, we're having real good fun on this journey. And if people just start the basics, be grateful, be glad of what you got, because it's a shame that when a person loses something, then all of a sudden I should have appreciated what I had it. You understand? And that could be, your leg or your arm and stuff like that. Little stuff like this is priceless. Your eyesight. All of that stuff. Start being grateful. You're already whole. That's the realization. The realization ain't you trying to gain something. It's about realizing the power that you already have. That's it. We're in paradise. Voila.
We are. We are very lucky people, and we know it. We're on a journey of like growth and spirituality and helping other people. And I feel blessed, and I'm sure you guys too, that, you know, that the suffering that we talked about earlier, that's brought us to this place, has, you know, helped us along the way.
Right, the suffering, that's the part. So suffering now is a good thing when you look at it in that light. So if a person is going through some type of sickness or something, kind of look at it differently and appreciate it, because that's what got you on the ball game to learn more about yourself and how energy works. And meditation is the foundation because it's so powerful. If you stay in it and work with it, it will do wonders when you start channeling that energy through you, because all sickness and disease start on an energetic level. It's an energetic blockage. That's what I tell people all the time.
Can I ask our team, when you talk about meditation, you're doing it as, maybe you might not want to break it down, but do you mean meditation different for everybody, or are you talking about a specific one you do that's the best, or what do you mean? Is that like,
I'm glad you brought that up. Now, there's a lot of meditations out there. Visualizations, different visualizations, chanting, all of this good stuff. Even Tai Chi's a meditation is meditation and movement, because some people like to move. They don't like to sit still. And then there's some people who don't really like to move. They like to sit still. So even yoga is sort of like a meditation and stillness. You're concentrating and focusing on different areas. Now, the reason why there's so many meditations out there, because everybody's different. That's why we got a variety of people on what they like. So don't try to jump on something just because somebody else liked it or that's working for them. Find the one, shop around until you say, okay, I'm comfortable with this. I like this one. And then, because the whole idea is, if you like it, you'll stick with it.
Right.
If you don't like it, we're creatures of pleasures and habits. It's okay. You're not going to stick with it very long. But if you like something, and your exploration should be, I wonder how far or where this is going to take you. And if you stick with it, you will see some good fruits come out of meditation. So just pick the one that you like and the one that's good for you.
You know what, Elitom, I would love for you to share. We were watching last night. You showed me this beautiful video. We're going to show at the retreat. Programming the subconscious mind. And there's two main keys to program the subconscious mind.
Oh, you go ahead and say it.
The habit.
The habit.
To have the habit, because the cells, the subconscious mind is the body. And as a personal trainer and as an athlete doing 50-mile bike rides and running marathons, I had to talk myself into what we were doing. Okay, we're going to do 6 miles today, 3 miles tomorrow, 10 miles the next day, then 5 miles, then 16 miles, then 8 miles. You have to like cheer yourselves on, and then day after day, discipline comes with doing it. So you're giving yourself a saturation point. You're dripping the rain of consciousness until all the cells reboot, and then what do? Autopilot.
Right. Absolutely. So the habit over and over again, being continuous, that's the key to all of these levels. If you just do something once a week, that's the results you're going to get. That's what you're going to get out of it.
Yeah.
But if you do something 5 to 6 to 7 times a week, that's what it's all about. So that's why when we were going to school, it was about the repetition. A, B, C, and then the kid don't know what come next. Then they come back the next day. A, B, C, come back the next day. A, B, C, D, E, F. And you kept working with it. Now you can get any person who learned that, they could do it verbatim. They did it so much, it's in all the cells of their body. They don't have to think about it. So it's the same way when you're on these journeys, stay up under the knowledge. I tell people all the time, if you listen to me talk enough, I'll talk you into breatharianism.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. That's why the changes is taking place. It's a frequency. It's changing you. It's transforming you. And you constantly keep hearing it over and over. Pretty soon, ding, because we're made up of words. In the beginning was the word. That's the power of words. That's the power of education, knowledge. It has to be transmitted to you.
And the second thing is that you're in a suggestible theta state. So as we're talking, we're in beta. We're talking like this. We're talking to the conscious mind. The conscious mind has only 5% of your decision-making lifestyle.
Right.
95% is the subconscious mind. So then we go into alpha, which is watching TV and you're being programmed. Do I want to eat this steak? Do I want to buy a Ford? You're looking at the commercials between your favorite show. You're laughing, and then all of a sudden they're like, you need this medicine. So that's like a programmable state. Then you go below that, theta. Now here's what we learned, that the first 7 years of life, my daughter just turned 8, but 7 You're in a theta brainwave from 1 to 7. You're being programmed by your parents, by your environment, by your situation. You're soaking in this receptivity. And so if you can induce a theta state with guided meditations, which we're going to create one, then what happens is you listen to that 2 times a day, right before you go to sleep and right when you wake up. You're in these twilight energies where theta is natural to the brainwaves because of the melatonin that gets released at night. And then right before the adrenaline becomes in the morning with the sun, when you wake up, you have that suggestibility. So reprogramming yourself with theta mantra type of consciousness, and then having the habits to back it up during the day. Those 2 things are your standing pillars. And then before you know it, one day, you're not going to want food. It'll leave you.
Right. Here we go. Reprogramming. We're biocomputers. People got to get that in their head. Biomachines/biocomputers. Just like when you put a new application on your phone, you got to get it downloaded. And some applications get downloaded faster than others.
We need a breatharian app.
Right. Got to get a breatharian app. So the more you stay with this knowledge, keep going into it, the more it's going to get downloaded into you. It will become easier and easier and easier.
You know, and I want to say, we only met on Monday. So it's 6 days ago we met. However, when I was doing my own process, I had heard him say there's a 100-day process where you do something habitually for 100 days, and that built your mental faculties, right? So I knew, like, if I do push-ups every day, if I do crunches every day, it'll get easier and easier and easier. So what I did every day was listen to his YouTube channel. And then it influenced my YouTube channel because I was teaching, like, juicing and detoxing and smoothies and exercise. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to watch his channel. And he's teaching prana and qigong and breath work and tai chi and microcosmic orbit. And when I ate that data, that knowledge, I became more full, satiated.
Right. And then one day she said, do, and I appeared here in California. That's the power again.
That's the magic.
That's the magic. So we hope you got a lot out of this. Any more questions?
Yeah, before we leave, is there anything we didn't talk about that I mean, you've covered a lot, and you guys have really given us good insight into your lifestyle and what you're up to. And but yes, before we get into what you're doing and your websites and stuff, like, is there anything last message you'd like to leave people with that we didn't cover?
Do you have a website?
The website is elitommelamine.org, O-R-G. And then the website, I got a channel to try to touch every subject that people's dealing with, even dealing with liquid journey. That'll be just Elitom Melamine. And subscribe. There's a lot of good information there. And that's all we want to put out is good information so people can grow, learn, and we can break this consistent reality.
Yeah. Anita, you've got a website on YouTube as well, right?
And right here, he said Athena.
Oh, my YouTube Athena. Is my YouTube is Raising Reverence, and I've got over 500 shows. And my daughter's name is Reverence, and I came up with that because the best thing I can do is just change myself. I can't go out and try to change the world. So if I change my own resonance, my own frequency, with bringing more reverence to everything, to the breath, to the movement, to the body, coming from a kid being in a wheelchair for 4 years, saying that I'd never walk again, I had a lot of reverence for the moment I could stand on my 2 legs and walk from the car to the house. That was a big deal for me. So from then on, I didn't take my health for granted. I became an athlete, and then I became a health educator so that I could be in reverence. So the channel's called Raising Reverence. How can you raise your own vibrational frequency? It's on YouTube.
Absolutely. And right now we're at the temple.
Sound Palace Temple.
The Sound Palace Temple. This is basically the place we're at. And this is where we hold our retreats at here in Sherman Oaks, California.
Okay.
And not only we hold
can anyone come? Can anyone come to that, or is it you need to book in advance?
What did you say?
What'd you say?
Can anyone come to these retreats with you? The one you're at right now, is it a book in advance?
Anyone, yeah, everybody can come.
Oh, anybody can come.
One's going to start tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going to have one tomorrow. But,
you can come.
But the thing about it, we're going to keep these retreats going continually. We're establishing this as a breatharian center, basically.
Right.
So it could be one on the world where the knowledge is always here and it's always at a high degree. And not only that, we're in an area we're teaching every Thursdays also. So we got a group already started where people will come here every Thursday and we'll get support.
If they're on their own, they're doing it. We need to have the community be supported. And we Facebook Live those. So those of you who are all over the world can listen in on Thursday and then try 5 or 6 days. of liquid or fasting or wherever the level is, whatever you want to drop, try it and then tune back in and get your extra support.
But again, it's about taking it from myth to reality so we can break all of those stigmas on what it was and what it's not and give the people the tools that they need. So we're right here in Los Angeles, California, Sherman Oaks in the Valley. And this is the Sound Palace Temple. And always just stay on track. We'll be posting on what's going on next. There will always be something here dealing with the breatharian levels.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much, guys.
One mind at a time.
One mind at a time. And you know why we call it the Sound Palace Temple? Is because our bodies and our auras make a sound. And if we're in tune, like if you tune a Stradivarius, you can play a beautiful symphony. But even if you have a Stradivarius and it's out of tune, it's not going to sound so good. So we're like notes in Creator's symphony. And if we tune in and tune up, we can play more harmonious chords in our life.
Absolutely. And sound is light.
Sound is light.
Sound is light. We're light beings. That's all we work with.
I love how you guys play off each other too. You're wonderful together in terms of like your vibe. It's beautiful to watch. So
voila, this is all through to the light.
Thank you to the light. Thank you to you for doing this work.
Proper dynamic team, because that's what you needed. Good teams around you. The good buildup of coming together and everybody's using their talents as one to bring this message forth.
Definitely, brother. I look forward to meeting up with you two at some point in the future. Definitely soon, because I'm into this stuff and learning. So definitely.
Oh, absolutely. We'll be meeting soon, and we enjoyed you so much.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you, Elitom. Thank you, Anita. And this is Harry, Holistic Health Harry, Alkalize for Rise Talk Show. Thank you very much for watching. Cheers.